It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Freestyle Friday, y'all. How will the Texans rookies impact the offense?
That would be Sarge. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Tuning into the Texans happy hour. Make sure I got myself together. Y'all give me 1 second. Ooh, yeah. Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuning into the Texans happy hour. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports, the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure, what's up, TikTok family? Make sure you are subscribed to the Texas Tailgate Talk podcast, all one word, Texans Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because, you know, we do everything for the gram. And make sure that you're reading all of my articles at www.bigsargemedia.com. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Whew. Hold on for a second. I had to pull out the big cup because, so for those of y'all don't know, I graduated from Prairie View A&M University. Oh, who you rooting for? PVU. PVU. No. It's Labor Day Classic weekend. That's where the mighty Prairie View A&M Panthers will take on the lowly Texas Southern University Tigers. Now, let me say this. It's all love. It's all love. It's always going to be all love because at the end of the day, we're still just two HBCUs wanting the best for each other. Just wanting the best for each other and making sure that, you know, that we do that in a friendly way, friendly competition. Texas Southern is located in Houston. Prairie View is located in Prairie View. It's the big rivalry, big in-state rivalry. And so I just pray that everybody is safe this, for the game. I may or may not be covering that game. We're going to get out there and see. But, you know, y'all already know who I'm rooting for. This mine. I even got my name on it. Hold on. This mine. It got my name on it. That's right. What's up, J-Rob? Hey, to my TikTok family, what's going on? Let me see. Triple Play, what's going on? Raymundo, Samurai, talking about Go Tigers. No, and no. Hey, and if you're on TikTok, following me, hey, man, can y'all do me a favor? Jake Salazar, what's going on? Can you make sure that you, send out that alert, tell them that their favorite sports guy is on right now. Pretty soon, it won't just be sports, but for right now, it's just sports. I want to be your favorite guy, regardless. So, anyway, once again, shout out to the Prairie View A&M Panthers and the Texas Southern University Tigers as they will play each other in the Labor Day Classic this weekend. This show is sponsored by the Hall Family Estates. Make sure you go to www.hallfamilyestates.com for all your winery needs. They say you can't buy happiness, but you can buy wine, and that is the closest thing to it. I want to give a special shout out to everybody who joined me earlier today on the Big Sarge Sports Talk with Big Sarge show over on the Big Sarge Media channel, as I, discussed how Jerry Jones has totally burned out that star up in Arlington, how he has totally destroyed that franchise. And when we talk, maybe on Saturday, I got a 5K to do Y'all know me and my wife it's 2025K for my wife and I. So we're doing 5Ks all of 2025. And so while we have one tomorrow, then we have some things that we need to do. Regular season begins, the regular season schedule for me begins next week. And so I want to say probably closer to Sunday. Probably closer to Sunday, I'll do a Texans tailgate talk podcast. And the question that I'm going to ask, and this is something that I want you all to ponder on, while I continue to put this together. But did Micah Parsons' new contract make the Houston Texans organization cry? Did Micah Parsons' new contract with the Green Bay Packers, now that he got traded from the Dallas Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers, do you think that it made the Texans organization cry? We'll talk about that more on Sunday's edition of the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast show. I think that you all are going to really, really enjoy that. All right, so it's Freestyle Friday, right? It's Freestyle Friday. First of all, Tay is going to kick my butt because I told Tay 5:30. It's 4:35. Let's just hope he got the alerts. I mean, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I hope Tay was able to get those alerts. So listen, with it being Freestyle Friday right here on the Texans Happy Hour, that means that don't get me wrong, I have a question that I want to ask you all, and I would want to get your feedback from. But on this Freestyle Friday, you all are driving this show. So I'm going to do my best to read the comments on YouTube and Twitter, and I'm going to do my best to read the comments on TikTok. This is y'all's show, right? This is Freestyle Friday. You come on here, you can ask me questions. You can drop a topic into the chat. I will see, if we have time or if we can talk about it. I know that one of the most pressing issues for the Houston Texans organization right now is the health and the status of Texans running back Joe Mixon. And I haven't been able to get any more information on that. All I will say is that we know that he's out for the first 4 weeks, the first 4 games of the season, because he is on the non-football injury list. And we do know that it's an ankle injury. Just don't know how bad this ankle injury is. That's what's going to be one of the most interesting things that I try to find out for you all as the season starts. No, it's asking me. It's live Freestyle Friday. Join? Not now. I don't want to join right now. But that's one of the things that I'm going to try to find out for you all starting next week. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy that this is about to start. I'm happy that the season is about to start. It seemed like it went really quick, though. It seemed like it wasn't as quick as it was last year. Because last season they had that Hall of Fame game because Andre Johnson, former Houston Texans wide receiver, was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so the Houston Texans played in that game. And I was like, this is like, look, what they say, this too much. They started OTAs early. They started rookie minicamp early. They started OTAs early. What's up, Texan Tangent? They started rookie minicamp early. They started OTAs early. They started mandatory minicamp early. Training camp started early. And it was just a lot last season. But it isn't as fast as last season, but it's still fast. And it's still one of those things where you're like, damn, we here already? And for me, because I do cover the Houston Texans and I cover the Houston Rockets, especially as we're going into September, the Rockets are having their media day in September. And when they have their media day, I'm just like, hold on. In fantasy, you think Kirk is a better pick than Chubb? Yes, I do think that picking up Christian Kirk is a way better pickup than Nick Chubb, only because you don't know what the running game is going to look like for the Houston Texans. And, with that line that they have, you don't know what that run game is going to look like. And if I had to project the starters, what I would say the starters would be Ariante Ursery at left tackle, Laken Tomlinson at left guard. Uh, what's number 60's name? Sheesh. Jake Andrews. Jake Andrews at center. Ed Ingram at right guard, and Titus Howard at right tackle. But the thing is going to be this. The thing is, I want to see. I wonder what kind of, and I don't mean this in a derogatory or disrespectful way when it comes to Ed Ingram. What's up, DQ? I don't mean this in a derogatory way. And I think I said what's up, J Rob, and to all my TikTok family. I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but I don't know what type of leash Ed Ingram is on. And I mean that figuratively, not literally. Figuratively, I don't know what type of leash Ed Ingram is on. Because you still have Juice Scruggs playing behind him. You have Juice Scruggs playing behind him, and Juice didn't have the greatest training camp, but he also didn't have a bad training camp either. What we've been discussing and what we talked about on the Thursday show, I asked, do you believe in Saint Nick, Kaylee? And I told you that this offensive system is designed for them to be able to move the ball. It's designed around the athletes. It's designed to get the ball out of CJ's hands quicker. And so, what's up, Larry? What's up, Donovan? It's designed to do that. It's designed to push that offense really quick, and it's a lot of competition because you always got to think about it like this. So, if Ariante Ursery, right, and I know I was talking about Juice Scruggs because I do believe that Juice Scruggs is going to get some playing time as well early on this season. But if you look at the tackle position, Ariante Ursery and Titus Howard, I think what the Texans have done, they have set themselves up in a good position depth-wise. I don't know if I can say talent-wise just yet. I don't know how much I want to talk about talent-wise when it comes to the Houston Texans offensive line. But I do know depth-wise, they've put themselves in a very good position. And if Ariante Ursery is going to be your starter at left tackle, then backing him up will be veteran Cam Robinson. And if Titus Howard is going to be your right tackle, then you have Blake Fisher that's going to back him up. You also have Blake Fisher, who could be a swing tackle as well. And so I think that it was Nick Caserio that said you can never have too many offensive tackles. He said you can't have too many tackles. And I think with that being said, they've set themselves up, maybe not so much as talent-wise, but they've set themselves up for depth-wise for sure. And so that's going to be interesting. So I say all that to say this, because you asked me about who to take in fantasy. Would I take Christian Kirk or would I take Nick Chubb? And I think that I would take Christian Kirk because the Texans are going to go running back by committee. And you look at a player like Nick Chubb, who's coming off a significant lower leg injury. He suffered two lower leg injuries in back-to-back seasons. So this, getting out against the Los Angeles Rams, especially with Joe Mixon being out for the first 4 games, you're looking at him. He got to get himself reacclimated to playing in real time. He got to get himself reacclimated to playing football in real time. It's been 2 years since he's played. Like 2022 was the last time we've seen a healthy Nick Chubb. 2022 is the last time we've seen Nick Chubb be able to do to look like that proficient running back that everybody knows that he can be. I don't think so. I think they're going to run Chubb all year. Nah, not when Joe Mixon comes back. Nah. And what was that? I can't read the name. 3692. Jargon 3692 on TikTok. I don't think so. And the reason why I don't think so is because one, like I said, Nick Chubb has to get himself back in game shape. I'm not saying Nick Chubb is out of shape. Nick Chubb just hasn't been in game shape because he hasn't played in like a full season in over 2 years. I think if I'm not mistaken, Nick Chubb has missed a combined 24 games over the last 2 seasons. Over the last 2 seasons, I think he's missed 24 games. He's an older running back. He has a lot of carries on his body, and he has to get himself back to playing in the NFL. So I don't think that they're just gonna run him till his tongue falls out. You know, that's an old school saying right there. I don't think they're gonna run him till his tongue falls out, and it's gonna definitely be running back by committee. You're right. It's gonna be running back by committee. And if you look at what they have, right? So if we're just looking at the 4 backs that we think will be active, or maybe not active, but if we think about the 4 backs that we think that's going to get a lot of playing time, especially until Joe Mixon gets back, you're thinking Nick Chubb, you're thinking Damian Pierce, you're thinking Dare Ugabawale, and you're thinking Woody Marks. And out of all of them, now let me be clear when I say this, right? Let me be clear when I say this, and we're going to talk about this because that's why I says Texans rookie impact. And the question I'm going to ask again here in just a second is, which rookie do you think will have the biggest impact on offense this season? But when you look at Woody Marks is not running back 1 from day 1. He's not. Woody Marks is not running back 1 from day 1. He's still a rookie. He's still learning. He hasn't played in a regular season NFL game yet. So he's still learning. But Woody Marks has everything that Joe Mixon has. When I look at Damian Pierce, when I look at Damian Pierce, when I look at Nick Chubb, I look at how strong of running backs that they are, how powerful they are, how big bruising backs that they are, how contact magnet. We know Damian Pierce is a contact magnet, and we know, when we see Nick Chubb at, fully healthy, he likes it. He can take contact as well. Dare Ugabawale is an overall 3rd down back for the Houston Texans. But what Woody Marks does, and we'll get into this a little bit later on. I don't want to, just jump into it all the way right now. But Woody Marks has a different skill set than those other 3 wide receivers. And I think that that's what Nick Caley is going to be able to use. I think that's what Nick Caley is going to be able to exploit some defenses later on in the season. But that's something we'll get to. But no, I would definitely take Christian Kirk because I think that passing game is going to be a whole lot more effective than it has been in the past. And as training camp went on, as training camp went on, I could see the connection between CJ and Christian Kirk. So, yeah, that's a good question. Okay. Let me see. How can I put this? Hey, when you plan on drafting Christian Kirk in your fantasy league? Because if you're asking me about Christian Kirk, if you're asking about Christian Kirk, or hold on, what does it say? It says, Sarge, what's your record prediction? Yeah, I want to know when are you planning on drafting Christian Kirk in your league? My record prediction for the Houston Texans, I got them going 11-6. Jimmy MC03. Who are you talking to? I don't know who you're talking to. Jimmy, is that supposed to be Jimmy Mack? We are good. Don't shit in your pants. Are you talking to me, or are you talking to somebody that's already on the somebody that's already in the chat? I don't know. I can't say. So I won't respond until I know that you're actually talking to me. Queena! It said, "Oh, you early. Ditching the Cowboys might be your best move yet." I know, right? I said, Tay gonna kill me. Tay is gonna kill me, Queena, because I started this show early. I think I told him. I think I told him 5:30, right? But it's Friday though, y'all. It's Friday. Y'all know what I do on Fridays, right? When I ain't got when I ain't got to work. When I ain't got to work on Friday night, what is that? Date night. Date night. Date night. Me and my wife gonna get out, go have some dinner. We may try to catch a movie, but you know, the movies has been what's up, Damon? Uh the movies ain't been good lately. My wife don't care. She just want to go and eat the popcorn. My wife loves movie popcorn, so she don't care what movie we go see. It's me. I be like, but it ain't no good movies out. I don't want to see the Fantastic Four. I don't want to see that, and I don't even know what else is playing. Like, what happened to the good movies? At one point, they had a good movie run, but after that, I was just like, gonna surprise her with a new Parsons jersey. Hey, I may. You know what? I may get her that for her birthday. She ain't watching this because she's still at work. Spike Lee new joint is good. What's Spike Lee new movie? Name Us Two. The hubby feeling real frisky with that trade. So for those of y'all who don't know, hey, Queen's husband is a big Green Bay Packers fan too. I found that out today. Hey, but I got to get back to this question real quick. When are you drafting Christian Kirk? Like, if you're asking me Christian Kirk or Nick Chubb, what type of league is this? Because I need to know. Because I'm like, because I got a fantasy football draft on Sunday. And if you know something that I don't know, I just want to know. Superman is still out. Was that good? I ain't never seen Superman. Last time I went to the movies was to see Sinners. Sinners was amazing. I watched Sinners twice already. I watched, what else did I watch? The Tom Cruise movie, Highest to Lowest. I gotta see what that's about. I might look into that, Larry. Doc, I might look into that just so I could take my wife so she could get some movie popcorn. She might love it. But your fantasy league, I've been looking for a good one. I don't know. It's my best friend. It was one that we did 2 years ago. My wife came in second, actually. She would have won it, but the one thing that I don't like about some of these fantasy leagues is why do you go all the way till the last week of the season? Because 9 times out of 10, if you got good, that you know what? Hold on, before I really start this show, I'm gonna tell you one thing that pisses me off to the highest of festivity. I hate playing in fantasy football leagues that go all the way to the end. Look, they'll start the playoffs early, but by the time you get to the championship, it's the last game of the regular season. And if you got good players, right? If you got good players that have been producing for you, if you got good players that have really been producing for you throughout the season, they're not going to be playing in the last week because they're gearing up to go into the playoffs. So now you're scrambling to try to find, hey, who is the third string running back for the San Francisco 49ers? Hey, what's that other wide receiver? What's the third wide receiver that play for the Chargers? Hey, who plays tight end? Who's the other tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I don't know if these teams are gonna make it or not. I'm just throwing something out there, but I do not like that. My wife lost the fantasy. Well, she came in second, but she lost in the championship game because all of her players were not playing. Pretty much all of her players weren't playing the last week of the season. And I was like, dang. Because I sure want to have the bragging rights. Even though she whooped my butt. I'm good at I'm going to tell you what happened to me in fantasy football. Because at one point, I was like one of the best fantasy football players ever. I was like really on it. But I got too busy. And when I got busy, I just couldn't keep up with the fantasy football leagues. I just couldn't keep up with fantasy football. So I was like, so that's why I took a year off. So now I'm getting back into it. I think that I can manage my time. All right. Tune to the Texas Happy Hour, sponsored by the Hall Family Estates. This is Freestyle Friday. So drop your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat, and I'll try to get to as many of them as I can. So let's go ahead and start this thing off. I'm gonna ask my question in a minute. I'm gonna take some questions from the chat first. Donovan Jackson, let me go ahead and put that up on the screen for my TikTok family. I will read this out for you. Do you think the Texans can finally make it to the AFC championship game? That's what you mean, the AFC game this year? Do I think that that hold on. TSU man had a COVID outbreak. Oh wow. I have to look into that. Do you think the Texans can finally make it to the AFC championship game? So here's the thing for me, right? Donovan, here's the thing. It depends on a couple of factors for me. One, health. If the Texans can stay relatively healthy throughout the whole season, yes. Because I'm a firm believer, and I've said this on more than one occasion, I'm a firm believer that if the Houston Texans would have been healthy, they would have made it to an AFC championship game the last either one of the 2 years that they got put out in the divisional round. The first year, which was D'Amico's first year, CJ's rookie year, Will's rookie year, Tank's rookie year. If they can stay healthy, they may have advanced then. If they could have stayed healthy last season, they may have advanced in. If they would have just had either Stephon Diggs or Tank Dell going into the playoffs, if they would have just had just one of those wide receivers last season, I think that that they could have won. Because what was the score? The score was 20-12, right? Going into the fourth quarter. If I'm not mistaken, against the Kansas City Chiefs in the divisional round, the score was 20-12 going into the fourth quarter. The Texans still had a chance to tie the game. The Texans still had an opportunity to, they were still being competitive compared to the year prior when they went to the halftime 10-10 against the Baltimore Ravens, and then they just lost the war of attrition, second time around. I mean, in the second half. So do I think that they can finally make it to the AFC championship game if they can stay healthy? And the reason why I say that if they can stay healthy, I think that the Texans have enough on the offensive side, enough talent on the offensive side of the ball to be able to make it to the AFC championship game. Because this Nick Caley system that looks like it's going to be more effective than Bobby Slowick's system, the talent that they have. And if you're a Texans fan, let me just say this. If you're a Texans fan, you have got to believe. Hold on, is that Raimundo? Says hard trying to beat KC and the refs. I've heard that on numerous occasions. Yeah. Didn't they give Will a roughing the passer against Kansas City? And he was like, wait a minute, what? I digress. And on the defensive side of the ball, they have everything they need. And once again, it depends on it depends on, is Christian Harris healthy? Because if Christian Harris is also healthy, I believe if Christian Harris was in the game, like if he was fully healthy last season, he holds Travis Kelce. And I think that becomes a different game. I think that's a different game. How do you feel like the Christian? And that's exactly what I'm talking about right now. Alex Hernandez, he's on the TikTok live. I do believe that if they can stay relatively healthy throughout the season, they'll be okay. Because even if you think about last season, Nico missed 5 games, and in those 5 games, if he'd have stayed healthy, at least let's just say 3 of them, then maybe that would have changed some of the outcome of having a home field advantage as well. But the biggest problem for the Houston Texans the last 2 years heading into the divisional round is that they have not been healthy at the wide receiver position. So yes, I do believe that they can make it to the AFC game, AFC Championship game this year if they can stay healthy. EJ say, "What's up, Sarge? I heard you lost it yesterday about the big trade. I'm sorry, brother. We don't have to expound on it, but I understand. But we will welcome you to a great organization that you may know." Appreciate that, EJ. Appreciate that. All right. Y'all continue to drop your questions, comments, concerns into both chats on TikTok and on TikTok live and right here on YouTube and Twitter. Okay. It's Freestyle Friday. So I gotta ask you all this question. AFC champ is just one or two wins at the right time. That's true, Brandon. AFC champion is just one or two wins at the right time. You're right. Okay. Y'all see the title of this show, right? It says Texans rookie impact. Right? I know deep down you want to jump that wagon after that trade. You saying I want to jump on the Texas bandwagon after the what the Cowboys did on Thursday. It's another story for another time. So here's the question, right? Here's the question that I asked earlier that I want to ask you all again, and I want you all to answer this for me. Let's chat. Let's have a back and forth. Let's have a debate if you want to. But if you agree with me, you tell me why you agree with me. If you disagree with me, tell me why you disagree with me. But either way it goes, which rookie do you think will have the biggest impact on offense this season? Which rookie do you think will have the biggest impact on offense this season? Offensive lineman Ariante Ursery, running back Woody Marks, wide receiver Jaden Higgins, or wide receiver Jalen Noel? Which one? JJ from the H says Marks. Raimundo says Noel. What do y'all think? What do you think? Which rookie do you think will have the biggest impact on offense this season? Offensive lineman Ariante Ursery, running back Woody Marks, wide receiver Jaden Higgins, or wide receiver Jalen Noel? And tell me why. Tell me why you think that is. EPAS said, let's say hypothetically if both ACLs were torn and you could save one, who would it be? CJ Gardner Johnson or Brevin? Oh, hey, y'all. Hey, EPAD asked a question. Y'all got to hear this too on on TikTok. He say, let's say hypothetically, if both ACLs were torn and you could save one, who would it be? CJ Gardner Johnson or Brevin Jordan? Man, that's a damn good question. That is a damn good question. Somebody said that boy Woody Morris is a mini Earl Campbell. Let me answer this question. I'm going to tell you this one more time because I want the TikTok family to be involved in this as well. Let's say hypothetically, if both ACLs were torn and you could save one, who would it be? Safety CJ Gardner Johnson or tight end Brevin Jordan? My answer is both. But I know EPAD. That's and I hope I'm saying that right. EPAD, Epit. Wait, it may be Epit. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to tell me how to pronounce it because I don't want to butcher it. Hold on. Drop it in there. Drop it in the chat on what to say on how to pronounce that. I don't know why it says CJ Gardner Johnson. He has championship pedigree. Okay. Okay. I gotta answer this, right? I gotta answer this. Y'all ain't gonna like this one. Y'all are not gonna like this answer. I'm saving Brevin. If I can only save one, I'm saving Brevin Jordan. Don't get me wrong. I like CJ Gardner-Johnson. I like his mentality. I like everything he brings. I just feel like Brevin is more important to the offensive side of the ball than CJ Gardner-Johnson would be to the defensive side of the ball. No, MJ Stewart cannot replace CJ Gardner-Johnson. No, I don't believe that rookie safety Jalen Reed could do what CJ Gardner-Johnson can do. But this is the difference for me. Because where that safety position is, the safety is the last line of defense. I feel like that MJ Stewart would look a whole lot better playing with the first team defense with that front seven and be more effective. And I feel like even though he does not have the same talent and the same mindset as CJ Gardner-Johnson, I feel like with that front seven, they could help make up. That with the front seven and the cornerbacks, they can help make up for whatever deficiency you have at that other safety position because you still got Kalen Bullock back there. You still got a ball hawking safety back there. What CJ Gardner-Johnson does is he comes down in the run. He's great at run stopping, and he's a ball hawk as well. MJ Stewart may not get all of the MJ Stewart may not get, have all the accolades that CJ Gardner-Johnson would have, but I think that he's serviceable enough in that top 3 Texans defense that you could put him back there. What I don't know is what are you going to get from Dalton Schultz this year? I know that Cade Stover was, taking another step up, and he looks a whole lot better in camp this year. He looks a whole lot more physical. You can tell that these tight ends have gotten better, but what the Texans could really use on that offensive side of the ball is Brevin's speed, Brevin's ability to catch, Brevin's ability to be that hybrid tight end that almost gives you not only a tight end, but another wide receiver on the field. So when you have him out there on the field, he's way faster than Schultz. He's way faster than Cade Stover. He may not block as well as what Stover has become or what he's becoming, but he's an adequate blocker. And I think that in that Nick Caley system, especially a system that is run by a former tight ends coach, I think that he could get the best out of Brevin Jordan. So, like I said, I know y'all not gonna like that, but I would put I definitely would put him. It would have to be Brevin. Someone asked, is Sting following Adams or Puka? I don't know. So who would you consider the number one? Who would you all consider the number one wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams? If I had to take an educated guess, whoever it is, if it's Devontae Adams or if it's Puka Nacua, whichever one it is, they're not going to put him Derek Stingley's way a lot. But Kamara may not be an all-pro yet, and I mean that he may not be one yet. But with Kamari on the other side, he's going to probably be going up against, a lot of times going up against Devontae Adams, and Adams is going to try to use his experience, his longevity in the league against a second-year player like Kamari, but Kamari has really taken another step. It's not that all-pro step just yet, but he's taken another step, and he's really good. And you got to think about it like this. Adams has gotten older, and if I had to pick who's the better wide receiver right now, I'm taking Nico Collins over Adams. And Kamari's been going against Nico every day in practice. Every day. You heard him say, hey, Nico Collins don't beat himself. If you're going to beat Nico Collins on a rep, you got to beat him on a rep. And so I think that with him going up against a wide receiver like a Nico Collins, Kamari is up for the task. Here's the better question though. No matter if you got if Stingley is holding Adams or if he's holding Puka, it doesn't even matter who's over who Stingley is holding and who Kamari is holding. Who's playing quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams? Is it Matt Stafford? Because Matt Stafford has gotten older, Matt Stafford has gotten injured, and how much pressure can Matt Stafford get away from? Because when you got Daniil Hunter coming on one side, and when you got Will Anderson Jr. coming on the other side, and you got a quarterback whose mobility has been lost in the pocket, now what you're doing? Now what are you doing? Now what are you doing? So I don't know. So once again, the question is, which rookie do you think will have the biggest impact on offense this season? Offensive lineman Ariante Ursery, running back Woody Marks, wide receiver Jaden Higgins, or wide receiver Jalen Noel. Y'all tell me why. Yeah, I see names, but ain't nobody telling me why y'all think that. Brandon says Ursery, Texans Tangent says Noel, front runner says Woody, Demond says Woody, Donovan says Jalen. Says at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Mixon never steps on the field again for the Texans. Oh, EJ, that's good. Jordan. Talking about Jawar? Oh, no, I take that back. Front runner, my bad. You're saying Jordan. You would save Jordan's ACL before you save CJ Gardner Johnson's. Ursery, the offensive line is the biggest question. That's what Samurai says. 10-man first over says Daniels, JT, Kyron, Chase, T Mac, Bowers, Kamar. I don't know, Chuba, Cup, Wilson, Riley. I don't know what that means. Brandon says Ursery would impact both the run and pass game when the other guys weren't on the field for the snap. I don't think there's ever going to be a time though that you're not going to have at least Jaden Higgins or Jalen Noel on the field. I think that one or two of those going to always be on the field. But that's a good point. Ursery would impact both the run and pass game, even when the other guys weren't on the field. So Marks has the ability to affect the running game and the passing game, and he is good at both. I like that answer. I'm gonna give my answer in just a second. EJ says Jalen. Texas Tangent said he would say Brevin's ACL. Brandon said he would save CJ Gardner Johnson's ACL. H-Town Tony said he's saving CJ Gardner Johnson's ACL. The first way was correct, and I'm going Brevin. Okay, EPAT. Okay. You're going Brevin. Hey, look, you're going Brevin too. Hey, that's what I say. I'm taking Brevin. CJ Gardner Johnson, experience. CJ Gardner, this defense is just too important. Brevin can go. Can go. We already seen what he can do. I'm saving CJ. Hey, man, Brevin. Hey, I don't listen. He asked a very good question, and it's a very opinionated one. So that means nobody's opinion is wrong. It's one of those subjective. Who would you, right? Now I love that question. CJ Gardner Johnson would affect more plays and deep plays than Jordan would on offense. But if so, Brandon, hold on. Let me put this up real quick. CJ Gardner Johnson would affect more plays and deep plays than Jordan would on offense. But Brandon, if your front seven is getting pressure on the quarterback, then ain't gonna be no need for no deep passes, right? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just adding to the conversation. CJ Gardner Johnson is a dog. The game we lost last year seemed to be more affected by safety play than missing some tight end play. Elaborate on that, Brandon. Because you had a rookie tight end that was still learning the game. And then you had a veteran tight end who couldn't seem to get himself in the game. You also had a veteran tight end who gave up 3 sacks in the divisional game in the fourth quarter. You didn't have either tight end in there that could spread the field. If Brevin would have been in there, maybe he could have helped spread the field. I'm just saying. So, what's up, Ashy Knuckles? Lamont says what's going to make the Cowboys fan even more pissed in the coming weeks. The public will learn of better deals on the table. That's a lock. We'll see. Stover will be starting tight end by ensuring by the end of the season. Don't matter. Sting and Kamara shutting them both down. He say just let me see. All I know is they better not put Petrie on Adams again. No, 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 no. But you know what, J Rob? Let me put that up here real quick. Let me put that up there. J Rob, let me say this. That is also on Matt Burke and D'Amico Ryans too. Because they should have seen the personnel lineup and they should have used the timeout. They should have used the timeout and either make the Jets run another play or scheme up for if that happens again. Because what they did was Henry was almost there. Henry To'o was this close to getting to Aaron Rodgers. But you don't leave Jalen Petrie on Devontae Adams one-on-one. That should have been a timeout. A timeout should have been called, and they should have called up a different defensive play. But I will say this. Texans played bad in that Jets game, but they also got cheated. The game of football is won in the trenches. So if Ursery plays well, we will exceed expectations. All right. And that Hawk is there for deep help. Bullock. Ursery, that blind side spot is going to be highlighted the most. Yeah, because now that you've lost Laramie Tunsil, who protected CJ's blind side very well, you're gonna need that. And I think that, with Ariante Ursery, I think he's gonna have a longer leash than most people believe. I don't think that if he makes one or two mistakes, they're gonna automatically just pull him out and throw Cam Robinson in there. What's up, Tay? What's happening? Lamont says he thinks Woody would have a better impact. Lamont said he's saving Brevin. Donovan Jackson says no, because his route running is very underrated. I look at him as a bigger and faster tank. Listen, hold on. Let me put that up here. Because Steve Smith Sr. told me he really likes Noel. There's another wide receiver he really likes on the Houston Texans, but I think he was telling me that more off the record. I could say what he said to me about Noel, but I don't think he wanted me to say what he said about another wide receiver. And it wasn't bad. It was just one of the things be like, no, I got to see that. Hey, look, I respect you. I respect you for everything you done when you was in the league, but I gotta see that. I don't believe that. But he does think very highly of Jalen Noel. And I like it too, because his route running is very underrated. And his ability to get into spaces, right? He has a unique skill set of getting into the places that makes him available for every quarterback that's back there. I've seen him do it with CJ Stroud. I've seen him do it with Davis Mills. I've seen him get into these spots and sit down in these spots and make himself available. And then once he catches the ball, he's always looking to get upfield. I think he told me that his ability to get on the hold on, low key Smurf said we'll see y'all on the 15th, champ. Monday Night Football, go Bucks. Hey, for sure. That's gonna be a good game. Tampa Bay against the Texans. That's gonna be good. But what Jalen Noel told me was that him playing on special teams helps him be able to catch the ball and see the field. And a lot of people don't realize is that he's like short and compact, so he can take a hit. He's not afraid to take a hit. So I like that too, Donovan. I like that. J. Rob says he's saving CJ Gardner-Johnson because defense wins championship. Brevin is a gadget player and a luxury. CJ Gardner-Johnson is a starter on your elite level defense. You don't think Brevin is a starter? You don't think in what you've seen so far, Doc, in this Nick Caley system, that Brevin would have thrived? I'm just saying. Exactly. Biggest mismatch. Well, who Ovia, who the big what's going on, Frat? Who's the biggest mismatch of the game? What's up, J Mac? Thank you, EJ. EJ says, nice interview with Kyle and Hannah, very insightful and informative. Hey, if you haven't seen my exclusive interview with Houston Texans owner and CEO Kyle McNair and his lovely wife Hannah McNair, go on over to Texans Tailgate Talk YouTube channel, all one word, Texas Tailgate Talk, and look at my exclusive interview. I had an opportunity to also speak with Mike Toman, the new president of the Houston Texans. I got that one coming out soon. One of the questions I asked, man, Mike Toman used to play football. So one of the last questions I asked was, when was the last time you ran full speed? I think that's one of the most underrated questions that older people don't get asked a lot. Like, I don't think older people that's like, let's just say 42 plus, right? 42 plus, 42 and above. Hell, in this day and age, let's say 37 on up. Ask somebody that you know is 37 or older, when was the last time they ran full speed? I think that people think of running full speed in their mind. It's a concept until you have to put it into action. Side note, the last time I ran full speed was 2012, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. We were practicing for a ceremony, and I had to get, by the time they got through playing the trumpet, I had to get from one spot to in front of where the trumpet was playing, and I had to run full speed. Shit, I pulled my hamstring. So last time I've ran full speed. If I had to run full speed, could I do it? Probably could, but I know that I'll probably pull my hamstring. But I think the way my knees and back work, running full speed. Hold on. Let me get back to that, because you said something. Running full speed is very taxing on the body. Yeah, he's about to pull your whole hamstring. You're right. I'm gonna get to the comments that say, "Hey, look, that's one of the most underrated things that people don't get at." Hey, man, when the last time you ran full speed? Some people gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I ain't ran full speed in 13 years. I don't plan on running full speed for another 13 years. I can't do it. I can't even do it. Look, when you know. Exactly. I can't. NFL players are underestimated how often they run full speed. Yeah, that's true too. Let me see what Lamont says. Lamont says, do you believe we will see a lot of these one-score wins by the Texans this year? I love D'Amico, but the close fourth games is taking minutes off my life. That's a very good question, Lamont. And I'm going to still get into the comments, but I'm going to say this. Here's the thing, right? It's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Because while I do believe that Nick Caley's offense could be explosive, it could be. I don't know what it's going to be just yet. I'm gonna need to see a couple of games. While it could be explosive, I also know that D'Amico likes to control the clock. One of D'Amico's biggest things is owning time of possession. And if that means running the ball, and then bringing out Kaimi to win the game, then that's what he's going to do. He loves the time of possession. So these close fourth quarter games is taking minutes off your life. I definitely understand that. And so I think it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Either the Texans going to blow some people out, they're going to get blown out, which I doubt. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. They're going to blow some people out, they're going to get blown out, or it's going to be win close games, or they're going to lose close games. But it's going to be either or. There won't be in the middle ground, because I know what D'Amico likes to do. Need a sample size of at least 5 games to see scheme effectiveness. Yes, I do as well. Brevin is the guy you build specific packages for. Gardner Johnson is a key player who can set the tone of any game. All right. Tank got better moves, but Noel is definitely faster. Noel is underrated. Trust me. I just can't get over. Hold on, let me put this on the screen. I just can't get over the over the thought that they had a whole section in the playbook for Brevin that no other tight end was capable of, and we'll never know what it would look like. Yeah. Hey, listen. Yes. Yes. Brevin had. So you remember when I played the clip on Thursday of what Damian Pierce said after the game on Saturday against the Detroit Lions. He said that the one thing that he likes about the Nick Caley system is that it caters to players. It caters to the players that's in the game. The package is for the personnel in the game. So if he's in the game, okay, so at the running back position, we got these plays that we know that Damian Pierce is effective at, along to go along with what Nico is effective with and what Christian is effective with. Okay, so let's put this together. And I feel like with Brevin in the game, because I even look at it like this. Some of y'all may think that I'm crazy, but I even look at it like this with Brevin. If I was offense coordinator and Brevin was on my team, I would put Brevin in the backfield. I put him at the fullback position, and then I would put him in motion. Now, as I'm putting him in motion, guess what I'm doing? I'm putting pressure on the defensive side of the ball, because as a fullback, the primary responsibility would probably the responsibility of the fullback would probably be one of the linebackers, right? Just depending on what defense that you're in. Let me say that because I know some of y'all all 22 master degrees. Some of y'all in here got all 22 master's degrees, and formations, this, that, and other. So let me preface my statement by saying it just depends. But if this is how I look at it. If I put him in the backfield, I know that there's probably 9 times out of 10 that there's a linebacker who's responsible for the back. Then when I put him in motion, once I put him in motion, the safety is going to see him come out, or the cornerback is going to see him come out, and because I'm not putting him on the line, I'm putting him like not on the line, but I'm putting him in a situation where he's standing up. So now I'm like, all right, so now I need to see, and I'll tell CJ, hey, once you put Brevin in motion, I need you to pay attention to the defense and what they're about to do, because whatever they're going to do is going to dictate what you're going to do, how quickly this play is going to get done, right? So I would bring him out of the backfield, put him in motion, and once I see that defense switch, now I know, okay, so now I know the lanes that I have. And not only do I know the lanes that I have, I also know that Brevin is tight end / wide receiver, and I can get him into wherever I need to get him to, because it's going to be a mismatch, whoever is on him, because he's going to be bigger than him. Hey, man, box him out. Go 7 yards, turn around, box out. Just get big. Just get big. I'm going to get you the ball. Most NFL teams in defense or offensive sets aren't actually in their formation until the snap. So listen to what I'm saying. I definitely understand that. Until the snap. I understand that. But I know that if you put a player in motion, things are going to have to change. So that's what I would do. That would just be me. Big Sarge, showtime. Which rookie you think has the biggest impact in clutch times? I'm glad you asked, right? I'm glad you asked. Big Sarge, believe that Jalen Noel, I believe that he would have the biggest impact in clutch time, because he can catch. Not only can he catch, he knows exactly where he needs to be. So I'm definitely taking him. I need to see a little bit more from Jaden Higgins. And what I mean, I just need to see him get into the flow. It looks like Noel can, Noel will be in the flow of the game quicker than what Jaden Higgins is going to be because they do play two different positions. And so I would probably take Jalen Noel. Yeah. 90% of all offensive and defensive sets are disguised. Yeah. 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 I'm like, yeah. Uh so in clutch time, I think Jalen Noel. And the only reason I say that, and Showtime, let me say this. Let me put an asterisk on there. What point of the season are we? What point of the season are we in? Because that makes a difference for me too. Because oh dang, it's 5:30. My wife will be coming home in a minute. If we're talking about early in the season, I'm taking Jalen Noel. If we're talking later in the season, I'm probably taking Woody Marks. I would probably take Woody Marks because he would have a bigger impact because he can run and he can catch. He gives me that dual effect, but I don't think that that's going to come for him until like week 7, maybe week 9. Like later on in the season, it'll be Woody Marks. Early on in the season, it'll be Jalen Noel. Sean say, I'm still full from earlier, so I appreciate that. J Max say belt. Let's see. The regular season Super Bowl will be week 4, Dallas versus Green Bay. That game is going to be obscene. Yeah. So here's the thing, too, Lamont. My wife and I were looking at the schedule. And so the Texans play the Titans at noon. The Cowboys play the Packers that night in Arlington. So we're discussing maybe soon as I leave soon as I'm done covering the Texans and the Titans, we may hop on the road and we may be gone. So I don't know. EJ says Noel is very strong in his lower body. Petrie versus Adams, don't do that. Never again. No, so 30. Hey, tell you say X 30 plus if they can run full speed. EJ say somebody would have to be chasing me with a knife. You got to color that question more. Add the word voluntary to that. Voluntarily running full speed. Yeah, because I mean, but then again, if you're running full speed, what are you running from? Cops? Who are you running from? Danger? You ain't got that thing on you? If you ain't got that thing on you, then I figured you'd be running too. But if you got that thing on you, where you going? Stand firm. Stand tall. Chin up. No. And EJ, even a knife ain't gonna get me running top speed. Doc says, in my opinion, Brevin is not a starter for a team this good. I'd rather have wide receivers on the field over him. Doc. And Doc, you know I got the utmost respect for you. The utmost. But I gotta disagree with this. If we're talking 2 years under Bobby Slowick, yes. I'll be like, yeah, I can understand what you're saying, Doc. But we're not talking about 2 years under Bobby Slowick anymore. We're talking about under Nick Caley, whose primary job over the last couple of years have been to coach the tight ends. And I think he gets more out of that tight end group. I think he gets more out of Brevin Jordan and uses Brevin Jordan more than anything else. And let me say this, Doc. Let me say this. I know that what I'm saying here is from a different place. What I'm speaking because I've had the opportunity and the access to watch all of training camp, to watch all of the practices. So that I don't want to say that I'm debating from a place of privilege because I don't want to make it seem that way. But because I have had the opportunity to watch them, because I've had the access to be able to watch them, I was seeing what was going on. And that's why I keep saying Brevin, because I seen the packages. I seen the packages And and I think even if you go and you look at some of that Minnesota, go back and look at some of that Minnesota game, he didn't do too bad. He had a penalty though, so it better be Cujo behind me running full speed. He said, "I'll take my chances with a bullet, but a knife gets me going." Uh, so we stressed again this season. All right, bet. My tail. Hold on. What'd you say? OV, my tailgate has always been running up Texans lead, no doubt. Yep. See ya, Boblé. What's going on? This year they might make you right. They might. Well, hold on. Will Nick be calling the plays on the field or in the box? No, he says he has to be on the field. He says that he wants to be on the field. Well, he was asked this in a press conference, and he answered and said, "I want to be on the field because I want to be able to communicate with the players when they come off. I need to look into their eyes as I talk to them. We need to have face-to-face communication." Don't do it, Sarge. We're not going to take a dump on Bobby Slowick. But that's what he said. Nick Caley says that I need to be on the field because I need to see and I need to make eye contact with these players and I need to talk with them and see what they're seeing on the field. So I need that face-to-face communication. I'm bringing my own stabby stick. One of the strongest things about D'Amico Ryans when it comes to Texas fans, a lot of Texas fans believe that he came from the championship era of Bama. If not mistaken, he left before Saban. Didn't he play 1 year under Saban? Did he? Let's look. He may or may not. Good Lord, look at these Papado prices still. If y'all missed the show earlier, good Lord. If y'all missed the show earlier, let me tell y'all. Do y'all know at Papados, right? At Papados. Let me get back to this real quick. This is why I said I'm glad I'm married because I can't be dating. I wouldn't be able to date. Naked Grouper, $39.95. Texas Redfish Pontchartrain, $46.95. Good Lord. Just fried shrimp and fries for a medium plate is $30. Shrimp and Cajun chicken tenders for a large plate, $30. A medium plate, $23. Cajun chicken tenderloins and fries, $14.95 for a medium, $21.95 for a large. Sampler platter, $35. Seafood platter, $40. Papado platter, $44. Goodness gracious alive. See, that's why I'm glad. That's why I'm glad. What's the wildest what's the wildest Easterby story you've heard? Hey, let's come back to that on Sunday. I'll entertain that on Sunday. Today I'm working with limited time, so okay. Brevin is gone. Let's talk about active players. Hutch. What do you want to know about Hutch? The question was asked. We didn't bring Brevin up. Somebody asked about Brevin, so that's why he was brought up. Brevin and CJ Gardner Johnson. But what you want to talk about? What you want to talk about with Hutch? Weekend Warriors mobilized. I believe Kaylee is a killer. Well, hopefully Dalton and or Stover could run a couple of those plays designed for Brevin by the time the playoffs come around. Maybe. So this is what this is what I like, right? And this is what I think that K Stover doesn't get. Go back and look at some of K Stover's highlights from Ohio State. I don't think K Stover gets the amount of credit that he deserves on what he did when he was at Ohio State. Like if we're keeping it a buck, K Stover can run routes like a wide receiver. He doesn't have the speed. He doesn't have Brevin's speed, but he can run good routes. And I don't think Bobby used him the right way last year, especially trying to get him to block JG on the first play. Nah, you're not. But you look at Cade, CJ knows what Cade can do. I think that Kaylee can. Like I said, between Kaylee and Jake Moreland, the tight end coach, I think that they will be able to get that done. I believe Kaylee is a killer. No evidence on the Kaylee take, just vibes. What's up, Bo Diggity 713? 392007 Ty. Why most media members keep disrespecting my bro Titus? Look at his tape versus all top defensive end like TJ Watt and Micah and Miles Garrett and the Bosa brothers. Hey, first of all, welcome 392007 Ty. Who? Put a name on that, will you? Because we don't disrespect Titus over here. I don't know. You probably need to go back and look at the Texans Tailgate Talk YouTube page. Go and look at some of those. Go and look at some of those videos. Not over here. We don't disrespect Titus over here. Not me. I have not. If anything, I have been singing the praises of Titus Howard and said, put him at right tackle. That's where he needs to be. And at right tackle, that's where he handled most of these defensive ends that you're talking about. He locked up Aiden Hutchinson in Detroit last week during a joint practice at the right tackle position. No, not over here, Ty. Not over here. We ain't no disrespect over here when it comes to Titus Howard. And one thing that I've been saying is what? Y'all have heard me say this on numerous occasions. I'll say it again. Papados is good. I said this on numerous occasions. I'll say it again. Titus Howard should be a captain. I've seen enough in training camp, and I had that take about Titus Howard way before. I had that take about Titus Howard before training camp even started. I said that this year, with Laramie Tunsil gone, that this is the year that Titus needs to step up and Titus needs to be a captain. That's his room. I don't care about the amount of other veterans that are in there. You got Trent Brown in there. You got Cam Robinson in there. You got Laken Tomlinson in there. You got Ed Ingram in there. You got Jake Andrews. I understand. You got those, but the young and up and coming Houston Texans offensive linemen that are going that they're hoping that's going to be here for the future, they look up to Titus. And that offensive line room is Titus's room. That's another charge by Cole Popovich. He's, hey, Titus, you are the big vet in this room. This is your room. This is yours. When things go haywire, I'm gonna come look at you and ask you first. And look, let me tell you all something. Side note, right? One of the signs of a good leader is being able to delegate, right? One of the signs of a good leader is being able to delegate. When I was in the Army, when I became a non-commissioned officer in the Army, one of the biggest things that I was able to do is communicate and delegate. Communicate and delegate with my junior soldiers, right? Hey, look, we got a task that we need to get done. Everybody come into this room. Everybody take their rank off, because if I keep my rank on, I outrank everybody in this room, right? I outrank everybody in this room. So when you get to talking to me, you're not talking to me, you're talking to my rank. We can't get nothing done if you're talking to my rank. I need you to talk to me. Everybody take their rank off, set on the table. All right, this is the task at hand. This is what needs to get done. This is what's come down from the top. This is our mission for the day. How are we going to get this done? Let's hear it. And I would say how are we going to get this done? Because I'm a part of it as well. And if it doesn't get done the right way, my superiors are going to come to me first. So now what do? Hey, what y'all got? Because an effective leader also listens. You got to be able to listen. If you can listen, because you don't know everything. And sometimes the way that you want to do it may be an antiquated way. And with these newer young minds, they have different ways of doing things, even more effective. Sometimes you may have to do it. Sometimes the only way to do it is the old school way, but just listen. So then I'll listen. Okay, so this is the mission. All right, Specialist Jackson, I'm gonna need you to take control of this task. All right, Montez, I'm gonna need you to take care of this action. I'm gonna need y'all. Hey, look, hey, Corporal, I'm gonna need you to take care of this action, and then I'll take care of this. Right. So now what have I done? I've delegated the duties out to get done, even though I know that I'm going to oversee them. I've delegated the duties out to do what? Put them in charge, because one day I'm not going to be here. Y'all going to have to step in, and you're going to be giving, you're going to be going over things as far as the mission is concerned. So, hey, We need to get this done. Not only does it empower them and make them feel good, it also gets them prepared to be leaders. As I digress, that's the exact same thing what Cole Popovich is doing with Titus Howard. Hey, man, I'm going to delegate to you, and I'm going to tell you, and then you delegate it to how it should be done. How this offensive line room runs is on you, Titus. It's exactly how it should be done. Hey, some ain't right. And I'm going to come to Titus first, and then we're going to go and we're going to fix whatever needs to be fixed. There's a question, comment, or concern, take it to Titus. Titus will bring it to me. Or if you don't feel comfortable telling it to Titus, then tell it directly to me. But now I gotta understand. I gotta find out why you want to talk to Titus. I digress. Over here, we give Titus all his respect. I'm just saying. All right. Are they using Hutch in those packages? Of course. That's the one thing that Rick, and welcome to the show. Yeah, Rick, that's the one thing we've been talking about. I did a show earlier, I want to say about a month or two ago, about a month and a half ago, where I was talking about, even though they got Jaden Higgins, even though they drafted Jaden Higgins, Hutch just not giving up his playing time, and Hutch looks damn good. Hutch looks really good. I wouldn't be surprised if Hutch is the number 2 starter when they take on the Los Angeles Rams. So yes, Rick, yes, he is. Hey, go to my page and watch Hutchinson's exclusive interview. Texas Tailgate Talk, all one word. It's the DC calling the plays. I think it's going to be a combination. They're going to be an HEB seafood department. I respect your Brevin evaluation. It sounds like training camp featured him better than the last 3 OC. Yeah, Doc, it did. But I'm not. Hey, look, what you said is right. CJ Gardner-Johnson is a different monster. He's a CJ Gardner-Johnson. The only other person I could compare as far as on the field and how he is, the way he talks trash and the way he moves, I'm talking about being demonstrative as well, is Jimmy Ward. Like him and Jimmy Ward on the field are the same. I'm not talking about off the field. We're not talking about nothing off the field. I'm just talking about on the field. I'm not talking about off the field. I ain't talking about off the field. I'm talking about on the field. Yeah. So expensive at Papados. Yep. I'm out on Papados. I can remember when seafood platter was $17.99. I said earlier, I remember when Papados used to have chicken tenders, fries, and shrimp for $9.95. They said, man, that junk here for nearly $40 now. What is for they selling tilapia like it's Maui? Papados is worth every penny. Ain't no courting and dating nowadays. Two manly Negroes to solve it. Expensive. I got more faith in Stover than I do in Schultz. Stover didn't have the experience last year. Yeah, this is good. Stover didn't have the experience last year, but with a year under his belt, he's a whole lot better. And he's a whole lot stronger. Appreciate that, Ty. Yeah, man. Over here, we. So, question, Sarge, did Tunsil deserve the leadership role carrying the big C on his chest last year? Yes. EJ is so crazy, right? It's so crazy because, everybody wanted to say, oh, Sarge is taking up for Laramie Tunsil. Sarge is Laramie Tunsil's cousin. Sarge is Laramie Tunsil's brother. Every time you turn around, Sarge wants to, there was a lot of shots taken at me about Laramie Tunsil. And all I'm going to say is this. Laramie Tunsil was one of the most respected veterans in that locker room. There's a lot of things that I would never, ever, not even in my memoirs, will I probably divulge. That that Laramie has told me, that I've had conversations with Laramie and I've had conversations with other people, that it'll blow y'all away. There's some things that Laramie has done behind the scenes to help his teammates that if I told you, you thought I'd be lying. You think I was lying. I can't tell y'all that. I was about to tell y'all something, but I can't tell y'all that. Nah. All I'm gonna say is Laramie. Laramie got a bad rep. Yes, he had the false starts. Yes, he had the cleats or whatever the case may be. Yes, he may not have dressed the way that you all wanted him to dress. I got it. But Laramie was in that locker room. There was not a negative word that was said about Laramie Tunsil because they knew that his actions spoke louder than his words. Laramie is not a talker. How many times have y'all seen us have an interview with Laramie? Laramie not a talker. He's not. Seems to me that Tunsil wasn't about the team and he didn't have the mentality we have now. That's the crazy part about it, because he did. Because he did. You know how much trash Laramie would talk in the locker room about players who tried to talk trash to him? And he'd be like, I can't believe that sorry motherfucker tried to talk trash to me. And I just laugh. But Laramie got a bad rep. And I get it. I can't tell anybody how to think. I'm not telling you all how to think. But you asked me the question, did Tunsil deserve the leadership role? Yes, he did. Yes. Yes, he did. And it's hard to have that conversation with people who have not been who does not have access to the locker room. And then there's some people who have access to the locker room who talk down on Laramie that I look at him and say, yeah, he was right there. Why you didn't go down there and talk to him? Like you didn't even interact with him enough to have these criticisms about him. You didn't even interact with him enough. Not only did you not interact with him enough, he probably wouldn't have talked to you anyway. Because he knows your stick. He knows what you're trying to do. So yeah. Heard some of the smartest and dumbest ideas from E3 and below. Yeah, me too. Of course, false start. CD gives me Vernon Maxwell. Hold on, see your Mobley. Yes, yes. That's it right there. Yes. Yes. Hold on. My wife says leaving the office. What time is? Oh, she just left. Okay. Be safe. I'm on the clock, y'all. I tell y'all now, I'm on the clock now. Hold on, Cody. Yes. Yes, Senior Mobley. Yes. See, CD gives me Vernon Maxwell vibes too. Y'all know I've said this on numerous occasions when I'm asked, right? People say, who is your favorite Houston Rockets player of all time? I've said this from day one, and I'll say it till I go to my grave. Vernon Maxwell is my favorite Houston Rockets player of all time. I know Hakeem, he's a great. Hakeem Olajuwon is a great. He's by far one of the top 5 centers to ever play this game. This is what I'm talking about. Hakeem Olajuwon was actually way ahead of his time. He was a center and a power forward all at the same time. But Vernon Maxwell, because I just liked his bravado and his machismo and his like, I'm gonna talk. Have y'all ever look? Vernon is he's so funny in person too. What y'all see when y'all watch him on these podcasts and what y'all see when y'all on these podcasts and things like that? Hold on, Coach J say answer my question. What question? I'm running 2 different things right here, Coach J. My bad. Look, I'm taking responsibility for it. I didn't see your question, so if you could put your question back up there, I will see if I can answer. But Vernon, he talks. He never changes. Vernon Maxwell never changes. Yes, exactly. I said mid-season clutch time. Hold that water. Well, you are privy to information we don't have. All we can go by is what we can see with our neck. Exactly. So, and EJ, that's one of the things I stopped getting into. That's why I stopped going back and forth with a lot of people online. I did like maybe like 3 years ago. I was like, it's not worth it going back and forth because I know that I'm coming from a place of privilege. Because when you're going back and forth to me, you're going back and forth with something you heard. I'm going back and forth with something that I was there for. So that's why I was like, it's not even, I'm not going to even have these conversations because you're going to believe who you want to believe anyway. But I can't have a back and forth with you if you're telling me what you heard Aaron Wilson say. And I'm saying, well, you know who was standing next to Aaron Wilson, right? I was standing right there. But people believe who they like. You got to think about that too. So, yeah, EJ, that's why you can tell a lot of the issues was the OC and not being able to make adjustments. What's up, Mike? What about him? Vernon, crazy as hell. Yes, he is. Yep. Hey, Mike. You say I have a question. How about them Cowboys? I have an answer. I need you to go back and watch. Go to Big Sarge Media and watch the show where I talked about how Jerry burned the star. How the star is burnt out. All right, CJ. Coach. Oh, not CJ. Coach J say, do you think CJ's IQ was a factor in him not being able to audible? No. 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 Hell no. No. Hell no. I'm not gonna cuss too much. F no. CJ's CJ's IQ had nothing to do, not a thing to do with why he wasn't able to audible. No. I hope I'm answering your question, Coach J. But I answered your question. Now let me elaborate. I don't know how long you've been a Texans fan, but I'm going to take you back to the days of Gary Kubiak and Matt Sharp. I'm going to take you back to Gary Kubiak and Matt Sharp. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Kubiak, Shanahan, Slowicks, they're all like this one little group. And Shanahan, Kyle, took a lot from Gary Kubiak. One of the reasons you kept hearing people say for the last 2 seasons that Gary Kubiak should be an offensive advisor to Bobby Slowick is because there was a lot of Gary Kubiak's system. There was a lot of Kubiak's system in Kyle Shanahan's offense, and Bobby Slowick only knew Shanahan's offense. So the reason why I said let me take you back to Gary Kubiak and Matt Schaub. Matt Schaub wasn't allowed to audible. Gary Kubiak said run the play, you run the play. In Kyle Shanahan's system, he doesn't come out and say you can't audible, but he calls so many long drawn out plays that by the time he's cut off in the head in the cut off in the helmet, by the time players get to the line, by the time the quarterback gets to the line, it's hard for him to make these adjustments because he don't have enough time because he's been listening. One of the things that you've heard repeatedly from Houston Texans offensive players and head coach DeMeco Ryans and Nick Caley. Hey man, we need to get to the line quicker. We need CJ to do what he can do. Get the ball out of his hand quicker. Let's run the next play. Hey, CJ has more command over this offense. CJ is the player. The offense is designed around him. He's going to go to the line. He's going to see what he needs to see. He's going to make the necessary adjustments, and he's going to go. So I don't know how long you've been following me, Coach J, but I just put out the video. I think it's on my TikTok too. But I put out the video of I asked Bobby Slowick about CJ's ability to audible. Why can't CJ audible? And he said, What do you mean? You know what? Let me see. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find this thing. Because I want you to be able to hear this. Y'all give me a second. I'm gonna play this. Where is it? Where is it? It's got to be in here somewhere because I just posted it. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I may be in one of these. Yeah, it's one of these ones that's not showing up. Dang. Yeah. Yeah, it's in one of these ones. It's not showing up. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it this way. I post so much. I post so much that when I have to go back and find something like this, it may take. Oh, here we go. Nope, that's that's Frank. What's today? It has to be up here somewhere. Trying to make sure that I answer your question. No, I can't find it. Um, where is it, Sarge? Hold on, now I gotta find it. I can't find it. We'll talk about it later. But let me get back over here. So he told me that he told me that the reason why, and I'm talking about Bobby Sloak, the reason why it's hard for CJ to audible is because they're not getting back to the huddle quick enough after big plays. I looked at Bobby like, Bobby, me and you have been around each other for entirely too long for you to think that you're just gonna tell me that stupid stuff and I'm just gonna buy it. Huh? When was the big plays made? You talking about it take a long time to get back to the huddle after big plays? What big plays? No, I'm just trying to figure out what you talking about when it comes to these what big plays. So no, CJ couldn't audible because CJ didn't have the time because of the long drawn out plays, and then with the long drawn out plays, by the time he gets to the line, it's so much going on that he's just like, here we go. So here we go. His Wonderlic scores were awful. I love him, but why no ability to audible? Texans for life. I don't buy into that Wonderlic stuff. The Wonderlic is like the SAT or the ACT. What does it really mean? How many people have been successful without even going to college? How many people have been successful without taking the ACT or the SAT? Says Kubiak was debatably our best offense. Schwab couldn't audible. I didn't know that. Great info. Yeah. Says you can't win if you can't audible. Defense will always have the advantage. Right. Gary's ego kept us from a Super Bowl. Should have signed Peyton. So yeah. Yeah. So no, CJ could and does know how to audible. He just couldn't. He just didn't have the time. It's just too much going on from Bobby. And Nick Caley ain't doing it. Hey, Nick Caley give him 2 plays. Get to the line. Hey, man, you know what you need to do. That's the one thing that I can say about Nick Caley. Nick Caley empowers the players. Hey, remember what I just said about delegating duties and what I used to do when I was in the Army, when I was a non-commissioned officer? The same thing. Hey, Nick Caley's like, hey, you know how to do your job. You know what you're doing. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. You wouldn't be playing you wouldn't be playing the highest level of football. You wouldn't be playing professional football on this field. You wouldn't have gotten drafted or however you were able to get to this point of playing football. You wouldn't be here if you didn't know what your job was. So this is your job. You get there. CJ, you know what you need to do? Do it. If it doesn't work, we'll try to find something else. But you know what you need to do. And do you know how that feels to have somebody empower you to go out and do a job? And even if you mess up, they be like, I got your back. I'm going to help you, but I'm not going to be over your shoulder. See, there's a difference in being over your back. There's a difference in having your back and being over your shoulder. Don't give me a task or don't give me a responsibility if you're going to be right there looking over my shoulder, making sure I do it right. Then you should have just done it yourself. Hey man, give me the responsibility. Let me go do what I need to do. If I need your help, I'll ask you for your help. If I mess it up, I'll come back and talk to you about it. But I ain't doing that. No, no, we're not doing that. Don't look over my shoulder. Don't give me a responsibility of a task and then look over my shoulder. Because I'm not gonna complete the task. I'm gonna just be like, hey, well, you can just do this yourself. The hell you need me for? If you believe that I can do it, then let me do it. If you don't believe that I can do it, then don't task it to me. Task it to somebody else or do it yourself. Who do you have as a midseason MVP for the Texans? CJ Stroud. Either CJ Stroud or Nico Collins. What's up, Donovan? You got a question? Bobby had CJ looking like he didn't like football anymore. Right. What you got, Fred? Do you think CJ Gardner-Johnson makes it for week 1? If not, what is our option? MJ really concerns me as our best depth option. Can one of the Rooks do a better job? Maybe one of the Jalen's. We got 11 of those. There is a lot of Jalen. So let me break down this question real quick for you, Fred. Okay. Do you think CJ Gardner-Johnson makes it back for week 1? No. But I do think he'll be back quicker than expected. I do think he will be back. So you may not see him. Because who they got? They play the Rams first and then the Bucks second, right? They play the Bucks. Is it the Bucks at home? I think so. You may see him against the Bucks. You may not see him against the Rams. You may see him at home. So, no, I do not think he'll be ready for week 1. But look, CJ Gardner-Johnson is a whole different animal, and it's hard to keep him off the field, which is crazy because him and Tank have the same mindset. But that's another story for another time. If not, what is our option? MJ really concerns me as our best depth option. So I was having this conversation with one of my colleagues who covers the Texans, and I said this earlier, even in this show, I don't think MJ Stewart is a bad option to hold down the fort till CJ Gardner gets back. If you got him in there with the dogs, if he in there with the dogs, if he in there with the front seven, if he's in there with that front seven, then he has the ability to play that safety position because of everything else that's going on in front of him. And with those 2 corners that you have, but that front seven, a lot of people don't realize this. And I'm not talking about you, Fred, because I know you have good football mindset. But a lot of people don't realize that what really makes a good safety is what that front seven is doing. Because your safety is your last line of defense. If you're safe, like I put it like this. When Jalen Petrie came into the league and he had over 100 tackles in one season, you know what I said? Hey, Jalen Petrie got that many tackles. You know what that means? Your front seven is terrible. Your front seven is horrible. If your safety has 100 tackles. If your safety has a high amount of tackles, then that means your front seven is not doing something that it needs to do. Even if you're bringing him down to in run, if you're bringing him down in run coverage, even if you're bringing him downhill to help stop the run, he shouldn't be stopping the run. I hope I'm making sense. If you got him making that many tackles, right? What's up with Christian Harris and Cam Robinson? Why so few safeties with Gardner still out? Yeah, I think I answered that a little bit earlier, Coach Jay, but we'll get back to that in a second. But if your safety is making that amount of tackles, then that means that your front seven is horrible. But the Texans have a really good front seven, and they have 2 really good cornerbacks. And so if even if we consider CJ Garner, even if we consider MJ Stewart the weakest link on that defense, as far as, and I'm not trying to belittle him and criticize him, but even if we're saying that he's the out of all of the defenders on there, he's the less talented. He's less talented than what you have in CJ Garner Johnson. If your front seven is doing what it needs to do, then you should never have to worry about him. You should never have to worry about him. But if you do, I honestly and truly believe that MJ Stewart is very comparable to be able to handle the job until CJ Gardner Johnson gets back. Now, we talking about D'Angelo Ross. What? Can one of the rooks do a better job? I don't know if I'm putting a rookie back there just yet. And I don't know if I'm putting a rookie back there, at least in the like if not against Matt Stafford, because no matter how bad an injury he'll tell. Hey, look, I ain't gonna even lie. I watched Bryce Young and I watched Jared Goff tear some of them rookies up. So no, I would not put him back there. Plus, Jalen Reed is coming back off of injury as well. So no, I'm not putting him out there. But yes, you do have 11 of them. If IQ was an issue, then why Bryce Young still struggling? Yeah. It's Texas time to shine. May not be America's team, but we Texas team. Hey, you know what, Mike? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I said this today, but if I didn't, I'll say it now. And if I have said it, I'll reiterate it. But I think that I said the Cowboys are no longer America's team. Is that with the Cowboys, you either used to watch them because you were a fan or you used to watch them to lose. Now, because they expect the Cowboys to lose so much, people are not watching the Cowboys like that unless the networks are putting them in the prime time games. And that's what a lot of times is happening here lately because they're not watching the Texans. I mean, they're not watching the Cowboys like that. Cowboys are they're not looking at the Cowboys like that. So yeah, no, no babysitting or micromanaging. I was responding to the coach's question about CJ's IQ. Okay. Uh has Hutch been better than Higgins? And if so, what does it mean Higgins has so what it does that mean Higgins has been disappointed? Hutch has been better, but you got to remember this too. And you don't have a name, you just got a period. I don't know what to address you as, but Hutch has been better, but Hutch is also more experienced. Hutch is more. Uh-oh. Hold on for a second, y'all. Hold on, Chris. I'm coming. So, yes, Hutch has been better, but Hutch is also more experienced, right? Hutch is also more experienced. And Higgins is a rookie. So he's learning. Like he's only been playing football, NFL football for what, 3 months? Is it been even 3 months yet? So he's still learning. He's going to get better. And because they're so similar, I said this before, I'll say it again. See, Hutch was Jaden Higgins before Jaden Higgins. Go look at Hutch's accolades coming out of and his accomplishments coming out of Iowa State, and then look at Jaden Higgins. They mirror each other. So what the Texans have is they've put together something that's really good, and I think that Hutch is going to. Hutch is going to be good, and Higgins is going to be okay because of one thing is his work ethic too. He has a strong work ethic. Texas fans, wow, this is the deepest team we've ever had. And I mean ever. The question is, can they mentally get over the hump of the second round? That is the only question. That is a great question, Mike. Something that we got to come back to. Yeah, Boss Lady made it home. So I'm gonna get ready to get up off of here. Hey, TikTok family, I appreciate it. Y'all know we'll be back right here on, well, we may be, you don't know. Just keep them alerts on. I may be back. But on Sunday, oh wait, hold on. I gotta do this. Nope. So for those of y'all who joined late, on Sunday, we will talk about, did Micah Parsons' new contract make the Houston Texans organization cry? We'll talk about that on Sunday. TikTok family, y'all hold on for a second. Uh Twitter and YouTube family, y'all hold on for a second because I asked a question that I didn't answer, right? H-Town finally say top 5 receiving core. He's calling it. I asked a question that I didn't answer. The question was, which rookie do you think will have the biggest impact on the offense this season? Offensive lineman Ariante Ursery. I do think that he's going to be good as time goes on. He just got to get his feet wet in the NFL, playing at NFL game speed, playing against the actual starters, getting himself because he's still a rookie, so he's going to have to get ready for that. So, Ariante Ursery, I think he's going to be good. I don't think he's going to have the biggest impact on the offense this season. Running back Woody Marks. I think that if Joe Mixon does not come back in a timely fashion, we'll see more and more of Woody Marks as he splits carries with Nick Chubb, Damian Pierce. And I do believe that later on in the season, Woody Marks is going to be very, very, very impactful for the Houston Texans. But I don't think he'll have the biggest impact on the offense this season. Jaden Higgins, wide receiver. Once he gets his NFL, he's like Ariante Ursery. Once he gets himself acclimated to playing in the NFL, playing at NFL game speed, playing inside of Nick Caley's system, playing with CJ Stroud, I think that he's going to be very good. I think that you'll see he'll be a guy who will help take this Houston Texans offense to the next level, along with Christian Kirk and Xavier Hutchinson and Nico Collins. So I do believe that, as time goes on, we will see, but I don't think he'll have the biggest impact on the offense this season. The person who I believe will have the biggest Texas Tangent, you came right back at the right time. H-Town Finest, you already read my mind. Mike, you read my mind. Yeah. Hey, listen, on TikTok, they read my mind. I said this earlier, I'll say it again. I honestly and truly believe that wide receiver Jalen Noel will have the biggest impact as far as rookies are concerned on the offensive side of the ball. It's just what I've noticed and I've witnessed watching him through training camp. It seems like he's made the easiest adjustment to playing so far. He's made the easiest adjustment to being inside of Nick Caley's system. CJ trusts him already. Davis Mills trusts him already. He just has a knack and an ability. And for those of y'all who came out to those of you all who attended the open practices, you got an opportunity to see exactly what I see. You got an opportunity to see exactly what I seen when it came to Jalen Noel. And what's going to help him out the most is Christian Kirk. Because Christian Kirk has played the position, and Christian Kirk, his chemistry with CJ Stroud is getting a whole lot better. But Jalen Noel, as far as the rookies on the offensive side of the ball, he seems the easiest to be able to plug and play. Plug and play. And even though there's going to be a learning curve for him, it's not going to be as big of a learning curve or adjustment for him as I feel like it's going to be for Higgins, or like it's going to be for Marks, or like it's going to be for Ursery, for Tay. Because they're going to say, it looks like in the offense, hey man, find a spot. If you find a spot, CJ going to find you. And then he gets acclimated to finding these spots. And now guess what he's looking like? He's looking like a Wes Welker. He's looking like a Danny Amendola. He's looking like a Julian Edelman. He's looking like what some of the packages that Sean McVay would scheme up for Puka Nacua when he had him and Cooper Cup on the field together, because sometimes he'd run Puka in that slot and let him do work out of the slot. Sometimes he'll run Cooper Cup in the slot, let him do some work out of the slot. And so that, and you got a receiver who has already known how to, take hits, embrace for hits, knowing that he's going to have bigger players around him, knows how to catch in traffic, knows that he's going to knowing that he's going to get hit and take a hit. So I got Jalen Noel, and I want to make sure that I said that, because it's not fair for me to ask you all which rookie do you think will have the biggest impact on the offense this season, and then I don't answer the question. So what's up with Christian Harris and Cam Robinson? Why so few safeties with Gardner still out? I've answered that, Coach Jay. And now I gotta go. If you're back Sunday, you could ask me this again. I'll try to reiterate it. But if you get an opportunity to go back and watch this, and I have answered, I got the answer in the TikTok family. I see y'all later on. All right. EJ says, put me on the record that Mixon doesn't return to the field for the Texans. All right. Moving right along. I agree. He's a hard worker, and I feel his strength will convert to a well blocking slot machine. Senior Boble says he seconds that, EJ. And EJ says he got a gut feeling. All right. Okay. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is what I was trying to do. Here we go. All right. Oh, you've been tuned into the Texas Happy Hour, sponsored by the Hall Family Estates. Go to www.hallfamilyestates.com for all your winery needs. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports, the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you're subscribed to the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube channel, all one word, Texans Tailgate Talk. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Did you know we do everything for the gram? Whoo, EJ. Go to www.bigsargemedia.com for, ironically, my latest article on Joe Mixon. And go on over to that Texans Tailgate Talk YouTube channel, subscribe, and look at my exclusive interview with Kyle and Hannah McNair. I think that you would really, really like it. Boy, EJ said this. EJ, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna go. EJ, we've been talking to the same people. I'm out.
I'm a big Sarge.